especially those who graduated from the tertiary institutions. NSS came into being in 1973. So through a decree, at that time it was a military era, so it was through a decree in 1973. But we actually got parliamentary backing in 1980 through Act 426. Through Act 426. That was the time that we can wholly say that Parliament has recognized the scheme with a clear mandate, and the mandate is that we should deploy tertiary graduates and deploy them into a working life. That is, you have to deploy them into the public and the private sectors to support the development of the economy. Not only that, we were also given a clear mandate, and the mandate is to promote the value of national cohesion and voluntarism. That is to also instill into the national service personnel the civic duty, and to ensure that they also become so disciplined in providing them with the opportunity to actually come face to face for the first time with the work of life. As to areas where we've been deploying them, those of you who have done national service will know about 10 key areas where we deploy national service personnel. The key among them is in the area of education. Education is the first place that we consider. Then the second one is that of the health support. That is an area we've been deploying. We also deploy some to the agri sector. We also deploy some to administrative support. Then the private support sector, we also send some there. Urban sanitation, urban traffic, then NSS support. If you look carefully to the data that has been provided from 2017 to 2022, 80,000, that is 70,000. But if you compare it to this year, that is the 2022-2023, the number has increased to 128,000. Even this one is less the teachers to be posted in January. It's less the teachers to be posted in January. And again, we also have the nurses one on to be posted. I'll move on to the initiative that is being embarked upon at the scheme. The first among them is that of the digitalization drive for efficient service delivery. Then the introduction of facial recognition metric application, the digital identity card generation, electronic school list submission, then seamless billing and IGF administration. Talking about the metric app, it's a novelty that has been introduced. Then it actually uses artificial intelligence recognition software of the service personnel to the ID cards. The first one is that of the national ID. Every national service personnel has a national ID. Then every national service personnel, because the person is graduating from tertiary, is also having a student ID. And before you register, we demand of your photograph, that is your picture. So it means that you have 3 pictures appearing, 2 on your ID card and 1 on the registration that you made. So we leverage on the metric application to be able to ascertain the true identity of the national service person. And it was introduced in 2021-2022. So if you go to the next slide, it will give you the opportunity that was derived. In Daily Guide, it was reported NSS saved 112 million. It was as a result of the introduction of the metric app. And like I said, with the metric app application, we are able to leverage through ICT to be able to check the identity of the person to be posted. And it was as a result of the metric application that we were able to block 14,000 personnel from not embarking national service. If we have allowed them to do the national service, the nation would have lost 112 million. So that is the advantage we actually got. Then one thing that is key is that immediately the national service personnel move through the process of being validated by the metric application. As soon as it's done, it automatically generates an ID card, and that ID card goes straight into the email of the national service person, which enable and allow the national service person to print it. So as soon as you get it, then it tells you that indeed you've qualified, and now you have been able to, you can do national service. Then we go to the electronic school list submission. In fact, before the introduction of the electronic transmission, national service for all these years were getting our class list through manual submission, meaning that every university was submitted through a manual submission, and it was posing a lot of problems. Among them are the data breaches whilst transmitting the compiled list to the scheme via pen drive. But as at now, it is thing of the past. The second challenge that the scheme was facing is late submission of the class list. The third one is errors due to multiple desktop processing. Before doing away with this process, what we did was that we invited all the universities. The universities brought their registrars to Accra. 2 reps from each university were brought into the Greater Accra. We took them through how we will abolish the old system and introduce the new system, whereby they will just sit at their comfort zone and submit the class list to us through electronic means, meaning that we have given them access to our portal where they sit and they are able to directly upload and send it to us. These are some of the pluses that we've actually benefited with the introduction of the electronic means. It has rather increases transparency and accountability, thereby eliminating a lot of problems. It streamlines submission of the final year class list data. Processing and PIN generation are undertaken with a click of a button. It gives education provided real-time processing status at all times. So now every university, as soon as you submit your class list, automatically it generates something like an invoice to you, for you to know that registrar from this campus, registrar from this university, you have submitted these total numbers to NSS. Do you agree? As soon as you agree and you sign, then straight away, automatically it reflects in our area. So there you can take responsibility of the numbers that you have submitted. Then another area where the digital drive is helping us is the seamless billing and IGF administration. The introduction and usage of the seamless billing and IGF